Hi everyone, it's Lewis here. I've got blue lights on, and I've actually got a blue t-shirt on, but you can't tell because of the lighting. This is a choice for it to look like this, because I'm reviewing the new movie Blue Beetle, which I saw today in the Superscreen. I would go IMAX, but the IMAX screen's only really earlier in the day. I'm guessing it's school holidays, and this movie's kind of slightly skewed towards more younger audience in some ways. And I think Oppenheimer is still taking a block of the IMAX screen, so I would have seen it in that if possible, but I have to wait an extra couple of days, and I've already had to wait a few days after it's come out. So I thought I'll go to a different cinema and go to the Superscreen, which was cool. Quite like the Superscreen. It's new and it's quite loud. The sound's really good. It's not quite IMAX, but it's better than a normal screen. But yeah, I wanted to review this movie. Like, I only really review stuff now if I feel like I want to, kind of thing, rather than feeling like I do it because it's just a new movie. And yeah, I wanted to talk about this one because you know what, I really really like this movie, and I thought I would because I'd heard good things about it. And I try and avoid hearing stuff, but it's just a pretty cool character that I never really thought Blue Beetle would get a movie, even though this character's been around for about 80 years or something like that. Not this specific version of the character, but the character named Blue Beetle, because it started in Charlton Comics before DC Comics back in the day. So I mean, maybe even as far back as like the 1930s, I think, which is crazy. And it's funny because so many people, especially like sort of in England, this country, don't really know Blue Beetle. He's not really had a massive amount of sort of mainstream appeal. So unless you're a comic book guy like me, you probably don't, most people don't know what Blue Beetle is, and people are like, what the hell is Blue Beetle? And it's like, he's been around for a long time. So but this version, Jaime Reyes, he's best known to me because he was in the Batman Brave and the Bold animated series from about 10 years ago, which I absolutely loved, probably longer than 10 years now. And I've read some of the comics where Blue Beetle, like the Silver Age, like middle Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, was a character in like Justice League International and stuff like that. So he's always been one of them characters that's been around that I know a bit about, but not one that I've ever actually sat down and read like a Blue Beetle comic, but I have like a working knowledge of him. So I thought, oh, this would be cool. I thought there was a time when I was kind of over like superhero origin movies. I thought I've seen so many of them now that I can go my whole life without seeing another superhero origin movie, and they're all kind of the same. And like, but then we've gone so far now that every superhero movie now is basically a sequel or a multiverse, and I'm so fed up of multiverses both in comics and movies that I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm quite into a movie that's just a superhero movie. It's just a guy gets powers and does some superhero, and that's all I need right now, to be honest. But yeah, I really like this. I thought it was really cool. I had a great time watching it. Um, I just, yeah, it's just really likable. Like I really like the main character, the young lad, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. But he's the young lad from Cobra Kai, and I thought he was really good. And his whole family are as much a part of the movie as he is. And sometimes in movies like that, they can have characters that are like a bit kind of wacky, and like he's got a wacky uncle played by George Lopez, and I thought maybe like sometimes they go a bit far with it, but I thought it was really good. Like this, like his grandma is a great character as well, and I really enjoyed everything she did. And it was and I really like it's basically just a completely like Mexican or South American cast. It's just like completely, and I really like that because I like movies, like I like international movies anyway. And I like seeing other cultures and just different people to what I'm used to, kind of thing. And I always enjoy stuff like that. Like a fair bit of this film is, well, I wouldn't call it a subtitled film, but there's a fair bit of subtitles in it because they just go between like Spanish and English and that kind of thing, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, that whole side of it, and I just found that like I really cared about them. I cared about the characters, which is nice. And when there's bits where they're in peril and things like that happen, I was just like, oh, I hope nothing bad happens to them, which, as I've always said, is it's a mark of a good movie. It's one thing to just watch a movie and go, yeah, it was alright, some stuff happened. But when I actually watch a movie and I go, especially in a modern action superhero movie, and I go, I don't want anything bad to happen to these people, I quite like them. But I thought visually it was really cool. Like the suit is just straight from comics to the screen. Like it's probably one of the best superhero suits in that it just looks exactly like it does in the comic. There is no, I think there's any alterations whatsoever. And I felt like there's a few CGI fights and stuff, but at no point did I kind of think about that. I didn't go, oh, that looks a bit rough, or that looks like a computer game, or whatever. I don't know if it's because I was really into it. I just thought it all looked really cool. The action scenes have a real good kind of like frenetic sort of energy to them, and like there's a reason for them as well. It's not just a fight. There's always something going on. Like I think a lot of superhero movies now are like fetch quests where they have to kind of go, oh, we need to go this place and get this thing from this person. We need this ancient relic and it's guarded by these people. And there's maybe a little bit of that in this, but it still served like the overall story, and like all the other characters all have something to do. The villains all have like their reasons and stuff, and I won't go too into that. I think the only South American person in this is Susan Sarandon, who's great, and she's, you know, this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, because every time I saw her in the trailer I forgot she was in the trailer, and then I'd see the trailer again at the cinema, I go, yeah, Susan Sarandon's in this, and I love Susan Sarandon, but she's such a good villain, she makes me dislike her in this, which takes a lot, you know, but yeah, I've had some caffeine, so I'm talking quite fast, but yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I don't think it's going to do particularly well or isn't doing particularly well. I don't really know. I don't really pay attention. I just, you know, whatever. But I kind of hope it does, because I quite like to see more of this. And I just, well, not even that. I just like it to do well because I think it's a good film. So I'm hoping good word of mouth will help. I think, like, you know, if you like superhero movies, it's an enjoyable superhero movie. And I think, I mean, I can't think of a reason why people wouldn't like this. I just think it's pretty cool. And it's a good time. I kind of would like to watch it in IMAX. Maybe if it sticks around for a bit longer, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever, maybe I'll go see it in IMAX, which I think would be fun. But yeah, gets a recommendation from me, a thumbs up. Don't know if I've done that before, probably. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, thanks. Blue Beetle.